Yeah.
So, but then likewise, if someone, sorry,
Go on.
I was just gonna say, oh no, you can continue.
That's good. That was like a four-way roadblock. Sam, did you make a noise there as well?
No, I didn't.
It bodes well,
beep
doesn't it?
beep beep.
No, I was just gonna tell Josh off for not tweeting about the short that he posted on the official Twitter. How dare
Man,
you?
I'm busy, man. I schedule it to go out, and it's like, yep. See you later.
I tweeted about it, being like, "Oh, there you go. He can just retweet it if he wants."
No,
And it's like, no.
I'm not a very good social media manager in that I have social media, but I do not manage it.
Yeah.
Right, okay.
Anyway.
Let's get this show on the road. Welcome to the podcast, everybody, the Game FourCast, which is where we get together every week and we chat together about all our favourite video game news and talk about what we've been playing all week. I'm Josh, aka BottlerWorks, the host for this podcast, and I'm here with Will Olivemeister.
Hello, I've talked to your doctor and see if tri-finger butthole is right for you.
Yeah, it probably is. Steve Quikwix.
Hi, I'm Steve, and according to all known laws of aviation, there is no way a bee should be able to fly.
And Sammeh.
Fortnite, try jumping.
I'm going to loop back around.
Nice, two From Soft references, and then whatever the fuck Steve said.
The bee movie script. You must have. There's been so many memes.
Not
You
going to
must
lie,
have
what
heard.
Steve said was the most interesting out of all those. What do you... Can we just talk about bees for a bit?
I do follow a bee
Oh
YouTube
my
channel.
God.
Do you?
Actually, saying
Yes.
that got recommended to me over YouTube, and it was actually a very interesting watch.
Is
But
this
anyway.
is this the woman that saves the bees on TikTok?
Yeah, the Texas Bee Works.
Oh
yeah.
my god, you see it everywhere. She's like handling bees without any protective gear, and I'm like,
Oh, mine
this-
was a dude, like a redneck. But yeah, he just shoves his hands in. There's like 300 bees in his hand. He's like, yeah, they're pretty chill. It's like, what?
I feel like
yeah.
YouTube videos recommended to millions of people that say stick your hand in bees with no protection. That's gonna get someone killed at some point, right?
Can I report that for harmful content?
Yeah, it's like that will kill someone. Some 10-year-old's gonna be like, yeah, watch this. I saw it on YouTube and just get swarmed by bees. Oh, so okay. Before we start talking about what we've been playing all week, early warnings. I don't think we're going to spoil Elden Ring like final boss or anything like that, but we're going to get a bit deeper this week, right?
If you want.
So
I finished literally a couple of hours before we started recording.
You've hit credits.
I was about because I was like, I feel like I'm near the end, and this was like yesterday evening, and then I thought I'm gonna try and push through to the end before the podcast, so I can talk about my like full start to finish impressions of the game.
I will.
But yeah, I can not spoil anything. I cannot get into specifics.
Yeah, I don't mind you doing that, just for the viewers and myself.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Because I know you aren't very far, are you?
I'm getting there. I
don't know.
We're getting there slowly but surely. It's like chipping away at it, piece by piece.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's like a big Elden Ring discussion to be had here. Before we get into that, because I want to talk it, you want to talk about it, I want to talk about it. Is there anything people played this week that they want to get out into the
Other
open?
than Elden Ring.
Well, you were saying, Steve, that you were going to play Guild Wars. Did that happen?
And I have.
Oh.
Yes, I have played Guild Wars.
Let's jump into that.
I have to say, this expansion, I finished it like basically in one or two sittings. It was much shorter than the previous expansions. I have to say, it's kind of wrapped up the story now of like the main story. There's room for them to continue it.
Yeah.
But if it stopped here, it would be a good stopping place. I have to say though, overall, I've mostly been a bit disappointed.
Oh no.
With it. Yeah, it's like it just. Well, I mean, I've enjoyed the story. Like I followed. There's been like 2 expansions and 3 loads of Living World story, which is basically every patch they do like a new zone with new story.
Yeah.
And it's been good, but this expansion just felt like the story just came out of nowhere, and it was just like, oh, it's come out of nowhere where we're going to this new place, and oh, it's just the story's wrapped up kind of suddenly, and there's new features. There's like the big thing is fishing in the game, and there's boats you can get as well.
Sam perks up instantly at fishing.
That kind of just feels like.
I think I heard Sam sit up in his chair there. Yeah.
But it's like a nice mechanic, but it just feels totally separate from the rest of the game.
Yeah.
And I've actually been frustrated because there's in the last expansion they added mounts, and it's not like other MMO mounts where it's this one. Like, there's like a raptor that can jump really far. There's a bunny that can jump high, and so on and so forth. In this game, in this expansion, they've added a siege turtle mount, and to get it, you need to do like a big meta map event where it's like everyone on the map needs to get together to like do a bunch of events and then fight a boss at the end. And I have tried this 4 or 5 times, and each time it get like the first time it was there's a mechanic where the game is literally telling you stand in green circles, and everyone in chat is screaming, "Do not stand in the green circles because it's faster if you don't stand in the green circles." And then it's chaos in chat and it fails. They hotfixed that, and now I've tried it twice since. And one time I got to 2%, and one time I got to 11%, and it's like, oh, come on.
Are you having fun?
Well, no, because these map meta events, they take like 2 hours. It's 2 hours in between each one, and they take like a good 40 minutes.
Was Guild Wars 2 the one that had big, like, massive PvP? Like, fights?
Yes. Yeah, World v World. Yes.
That was it, yeah. Well, because I haven't played Guild Wars 2 since it first came out.
They've revamped it a few times. I haven't done too much of that. But it's just annoying because I think it's been said in the past. I think one of the devs have said like, oh, apparently like 90% of players are doing 10% of the damage they could potentially do. Like,
oh really?
If you're into Guild Wars 2 and you like know the ins and outs, you can do like 10 times the amount of damage as someone else. But it's frustrating where it's like, oh, I just want my siege turtle mount. Give me my fancy mount that can have a cannon and a friend riding on the back of it. And it's not working.
Is it like Guild Wars is kind of like a casual MMO? Do you think that's the thing? Is people just play it to chill out and not really try?
It's definitely a casual MMO. It's kind of like a log on, do some daily stuff. There's basically every single map has something you can do daily, and there's like loads of maps. It's definitely much more casual.
Well, it's no sub, right?
Yeah,
it's paid entry.
Yeah,
and that's it.
Paid entry, and then it's free. But I just feels like this expansion has been kind of like almost like it's just over in a way. Like the story feels like it's over. There wasn't too much content. We'll have to see how they.
I'm amazed that this game is still going and getting support.
Yeah,
I guess the people who are playing it are shelling out money because there is cosmetics, isn't there? So I guess it has a fine player base that's paying for it, but. Yeah, I don't know. Just it never feels like Guild Wars is part of the MMO conversation.
Yeah.
You know?
Which expansion number is this? How many have there been?
This is the 3rd expansion of Guild Wars 2, and the previous 2 were great. They were like the second one was my favorite by far. I've like almost 100%ed like all the content that you can do there. But the previous 2 expansions were absolutely great. This one just kind of feels like, you know.
Yeah.
They had an area from Guild Wars 1 that they hadn't touched yet, Canva. So they kind of found they hodgepodged a reason for us to go there, and then now the big follow-up, the big story of like defeating the Elder Dragons is kind of over as well.
It still seems crazy to me how for the expense that goes into creating an MMO, I mean it's going to be one of the most expensive genres to make, right?
Yeah, for sure.
And there's just no marketing about this game whatsoever. If you weren't talking about it. Like week on week, like it's coming out, here it is. I honestly would not know about it.
Well, actually, this week I did see some Twitch adverts for it, and I was like, finally an advert, but it's still it's not. It's not great. Like it's still like if you enjoy Guild Wars, it's a expansion that you will enjoy playing because you playing Guild Wars anyway. But it's nothing to write home about to get like new players in this expansion anyway. So, still, Guild Wars is a good game and people should try it. Like the base game is free.
Oh, the base game's free.
Yes.
Yeah, I went through a run a while back of trying out a bunch of free-to-play MMOs because I had that itch to play an MMO, and I just didn't. I didn't want to pay for a sub. I just wanted to like, play something fresh and new that I hadn't really done before.
Fly FF.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, yeah, no. But,
Maple Story 1.
No, I played a whole, but I can't remember like what I ended up playing. I think played like some Black Desert and stuff. But I think the conclusion I came to that was like, if you want a chill MMO to just hang out and do stuff in, I think Guild Wars is your best option. It's just it's so relaxing. I don't know.
Yeah,
so many bars to fill up.
Guild Wars 2, because there's like 9 classes. I leveled like 8 of those classes by just exploring maps. You don't need to actually fight. You can just run around, getting the points of interest, getting the teleportation waypoints. It's just very like you can turn it on and be mindless, which is what I like to do in Guild Wars.
Yeah.
Oh, good stuff. I mean, do you have any reason to go back to it now, or have you actually finished it?
I still want to unlock the Siege Shuttle mount, so I might wait till I see like a hotfix saying we've nerfed it a bit, and you can maybe defeat this boss that takes ages to fight. And I still like log on occasion and play, but it's never been a game that I actively like. I'm super hyped to like play. Like I'll play like every couple months they do like a living world patch, which basically means that you get like a new story, a new map with new currencies and stuff, and I kind of check it out then.
Yeah.
That's my reason.
Are you playing this like in a group, or is this a solo MMO experience for you?
For me, it's a solo MMO experience, but I don't mind playing with people. But it's definitely, because it's for me, I enjoyed the story. Like I played all of Guild Wars 1, completed all the story in that game, and I read the books in between Guild Wars 1 and Guild Wars 2, and I played Guild Wars 2.
Oh wow!
I
had no idea.
Yeah.
Got a big logo
Guild
tattoo on his back.
All 3 and Guild Wars 1 and all 3 of the expansions I played. I've read the book, so I'm like I like the lore of Guild Wars. But
I had no idea.
Oh yeah, Guild Wars was I think my first MMO. I think I had City of Heroes, but that barely ran on my laptop.
Oh, I played City of Heroes. Fuck yeah, that game was great.
I only did the tutorial zone because then when I got out of that, it would be like, oh, it would crash. So Guild Wars 1 was the first MMO that I could actually like play all the way through.
I think City of Heroes is in that sort of category of games where I tried it on my PC at the time and it just ran at like 2 FPS or something, and I'm like, yep, this isn't going to work.
Yeah.
I have no idea what that game is, so I just looked up.
Really old MMO.
No one looks it.
It was great.
Heroes and villains as well.
I was going to say there's villains, yeah.
Yeah.
I think
it was great. The character creation stuff in that was so cool.
Yeah.
You could make whatever you wanted. I think the problem was you just made a character and then you'd play for a bit and be like, yeah, it's an MMO, and then you'd go and make another character because the creation was more fun than actually playing the game, or at least it was for me.
I think for City of Heroes, the servers came down, but then they released the source code, so there was like unofficial servers.
Yeah, I heard about that.
Yeah.
Because the 50 people still playing are like, how dare you shut down this game?
Yeah.
Oh, good stuff. Have you played anything else this week?
That was it. I had my eye on a couple other bits, but it's mostly just been Guild Wars and Elden Ring. But we'll get to that.
We'll get to Elden Ring when we get to Elden Ring. Sam, did you have anything? I know you've been playing more Atelier. Did you want to talk any more about that?
Carried on playing Atelier, but I've only managed to clock like another 9 or 10 hours this week. I've just not had. It's been a rough week for me this week. I've just worked too much.
Yeah, we were talking about this briefly before about just work. It's not fair.
I've just got slapped with other people being sick, so I've picked up the slack this week. And life. I really want to play Triangle Strategy.
Yeah.
I really want to play Horizon Forbidden West, and I really want to play Elden Ring. And unfortunately, all 3 of those games, plus the one I'm playing, are like 50+ hour games.
And the rest,
yeah.
So it's like, how am I gonna do this?
On the plus side, I looked it up, and I think after like mid-March, there's nothing coming out for a long time. You've got
but then we're getting E3 at some point, right? And we should get some announcements there.
That's not till like June, July, right?
Oh, is it? Oh, okay.
I think so.
It's like, I never remember what it is every year.
I mean, Atelier 2, Atelier Sophie 2, still great game. Still loving it. Still want to play more.
Any updated thoughts on it? Like, is there any mechanics that you've discovered, or is it?
I mean, I'm obviously I'm not all the way through, so I'm still more mechanics. But the mechanics change from game to game anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not like it's like, oh, okay, they've changed these mechanics, it's literally a whole new fleshed out system. So every mechanic is new, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So, but no, it's a great game. And I remember seeing someone in Will's Discord being like, "Is this a joke game?" And I'm here to tell you it is not a joke game.
That's just because I was memeing on it so hard.
It absolutely isn't.
And then if someone was like, series. I can't tell if you guys are all joking about this RPG and if it's good or not. And then Josh said something like, I never joke. It's a joke. And everyone was like, oh, I'm sorry.
But, there's a little bit of me which is like, you know, you get those like elitist players where they're like, oh well, I played Dark Souls 1 PvP in Dark Souls 1, so the PvP in X game isn't quite as good and blah blah blah. I kind of have a little bit of that where, because the old Atelier games had deadlines where they have like a passing day system, kind of like your Persona 5, for example, your Persona games.
Yeah,
it would be like, right, well, in 20 days, you need to have made X item with X quality with X effect, or game over.
Yeah,
that's like, hard. That is hardcore.
They were a bit brutal back in the day, and they've made it a lot more casual. There's no deadlines or anything. But I remember playing those, and that was really cool back then.
Yeah,
and I understand why it's not in, but
I
kind of miss that. You know?
You're like in the classic
WoW.
You had to pay for skills in my day, crowd.
Yeah, a little bit of me is like, I don't want to be that guy, but I miss being like having a, oh shit, I need to get this done kind of thing.
Yeah.
On top of trying to play a JRPG and doing all your bits and bobs.
Yeah, I had something similar. I had something similar with Shin Megami Tensei 5, where I was like, I'm going to play this on hard mode because everyone says it's really hard, and I'm going to push myself. And then I think I got like 3 or 4 fights in after a bunch of cutscenes. So I've been playing for like 45 minutes, 50 minutes. And then
you got slapped.
Got absolutely slapped. You start a fight and it's like enemy goes first and it just kills you. And I'm like, okay, fine. It's hard, but whatever. And then it's like, and then it goes, screen fades out, game over, back to title screen.
Yeah, because there's no water.
And I'm like, wait, no.
So that's what I don't get about hard. Like when you guys were saying like, oh, I played Persona on like, I don't think I set it to like the hard difficulty, but everyone else was like, yeah, I played it on hard, and I'm like, but how do you, if the games have a hard mode and it's like an action game, it's like, oh, okay, I could have dodged that better, or I could have, guy has more health or something. If a guy if it's turn based and a guy one shots you, how do you outskill that?
Basically,
how do you beat that?
It just requires a lot of planning of knowing preemptively. Like, you shouldn't do your first playthrough on the highest difficulty because that's just running your face into a wall. But on a second playthrough, you'd be like, right, I know this boss has this, and this move, so I'm going to start with a persona that has resistances.
Right, okay.
Yeah, I had good intentions. It just always
that makes some sense, yeah.
The thing I would compare it to is almost like the hardcore Nuzlocke challenges for Pokemon that are going around.
Yeah.
Where people are like, oh, okay, well, I know this gym has this 6 Pokemon, so I'm going to bring this team so that I can swap into these for these Pokemon, stuff like that. Like, just requires a lot of pre-planning.
Yeah.
But
that makes sense.
Going straight in on hard modes is just complete masochism because there's no way for you to know. So you are just rolling the dice every single
I was just I was just like, I like a challenge, I'll give it a go. And then I think that happened and I was like, I'll play on normal.
Easy.
And then I think I got like 5 hours in and I was like, I think I'll play on casual.
Maybe easy. Yeah.
Old me would have played on the harder difficulties.
Yeah.
But the difference is old me would have had like 4 times as much time to play and forcefully break through. Now I can't afford to lose like 4 hours progress.
Oh, I don't want to move on, but this ties into Elden Ring as well.
This does dovetail really nicely into Elden Ring.
I could almost drop a game if I lose that much progress now.
Oh yeah, I dropped Persona. I got I got to the last dungeon in Persona, lost like 2 hours progress, and I was like, nah, I'm good. I'll YouTube the ending. I don't care.
Like 80 hours in, you're like...
Yeah, I dropped 80 hours, lost 2, and was like, nah, I'm good.
You see, in games with like turn-based games like that, I will often do it on normal until I get to a boss where I'm struggling. Then I'll be like, okay, let's turn it down to easy for this boss. Kill the boss, then go back out. And
I heavily recommend doing that.
Yeah.
Like, there's, as I said, there's still that bit of elitism in me where I'm like, oh, you should do it on the hardest and break through. But no, if you should value your time more. If you want to play through a game that requires like 80 hours, play on the easiest difficulty because your time is worth more.
Yeah. Well, it depends what you want to get out of a game, right? If you want to smash your face against a really hard boss for 4 hours, that's all on you. But yeah, like same as you, more and more I found myself being like, I just want to experience what this game is. I don't have to. I don't have to prove myself to anyone. Yeah.
I have that now more than ever with every game that I play. I think the only games that I still play on like harder modes and will push through are like action games. I don't mean like Elden Ring or whatever, but more like Devil May Cry's and stuff like that. Where
I'll often bump shooters up sometimes a little bit, just because I played a lot of them and
that's the difference between not bumping up the difficulty. Doesn't make the game longer for you. It just makes the challenge better because you know your way around a shooter.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I think we should tie all this straight into Elden Ring because I think that goes.
Well, I've not played literally anything else for the last basically 2 weeks. What about you guys?
I played. I was saying I was playing Superhot last week. I finished that this week. I'm gonna.
Still good.
It's still good. Yeah, I've actually finished it. And talking about games that don't respect your time, the end of that game is about like losing control. It's so kind of like indie obnoxious kind of, but you basically you give up everything, and then you can get it back. But the game makes you wait 2.5 hours real time in game.
What?
Yeah, because it's
why
all the articles are saying you're supposed to reflect upon the decision you made to give up.
And God damn it!
The best thing about that is the 2.5 hours you have to wait is after a nerf. It was 8 hours of in-game waiting.
Oh my God!
And a bunch of articles I read were saying they had it as 24 hours internally before they changed it to 8. It's so stupid.
Wait, what? That you just have to leave on?
You leave on, yeah. They had to
leave it running.
That's absolutely dumb.
Yeah, I think
that's like irresponsible. That's like
the reason
start some fires with that.
The reason it was nerfed from 8 hours to 2.5 hours was not because of user complaint. It was because of like console criteria. Because you leave a console on for that long, they just like overheat and time out. And like power saving mode kicks in or whatever, and you lose the 8 hours progress or whatever. It's so dumb. Wow. So I was like, okay, this is a bit weird. And then I finished that, and it locks you out of the entire game until you do that as well. So you have to, you can't play the game until you do that. So I waited did the 2.5 hours.
What did you do while you were waiting for 2.5 hours?
I think we were just playing Elden Ring instead.
So you didn't reflect on shit?
No, I just went and played Elden Ring. It was so odd, and I didn't like that at all. But yeah, so I finished that. And then.
Did you play anything else?
No, Elden Ring. Lots and lots of Elden Ring.
I'm surprised you didn't play the Kirby demo that came out.
I thought about it. I was going to play it, and then it was one of those things similar to Triangle Strategy, where it's like, well, I'm going to play this anyway. Like, I don't need a demo.
You could have tried mouthful mode and wrap your mouth around things.
Have Kirby
Everything I hear about that game just makes me more and more uncomfortable. I haven't looked up anything, or for every little bit of media that I see that comes out of that Kirby game is like, I'm like, why any of this?
Kirby's always great because it's always like kooky and really cutesy and this, that, and the other. But it always starts. The games always start with you in a field, like fighting enemies, and we must go over here, and then it always ends with you fighting Cthulhu in space. with black holes and this, that, and the other.
Are we segueing into Elden Ring again?
Yeah. Well, it's okay. So you've finished Elden Ring.
I clocked in at almost exactly to the second 75 hours of playtime.
Wow.
But I did. There was some stuff there where I did lose a bunch of progress midway through because of an update. I lost about 4 or 5 hours of progress.
Yeah.
Which I had to really think about. Like,
do I drop the game?
Yeah. And then I also left it AFK a couple times. So I think I actually think it's closer to like 60 something hours ish.
Did you enjoy your time with it?
Well, yeah, I mean, how much do you want me to, because I think I have well, I thought I had a fairly controversial opinion, but I've read a bunch of reviews online and I now feel like maybe this is like part of the, you know, when a game gets so much positive press, you're like, this can't be true. And then there's this like the tide goes back out a little bit again and everyone's like, oh, okay, all right, it's not that good.
Yeah, we mentioned this last week where how the reviews were so hype, and because they were so hype, my personal expectations went through the roof. I was like, okay, I'm ready to have the literal pants exploded off my body.
Pretty much, yeah. Because I've not looked up anything about this. I think I watched the like technical test trailer or something ages ago, and they were like, we're gonna talk about crafting and all that, and I watched that, and then that was it. Didn't watch any trailers or anything after that. I haven't watched any playthroughs. And so I was ready for this experience.
I'm ready to experience the next gen of open world gaming and action combat.
Yes.
And then
I think it's a really good Dark Souls game. Which is like great. I like those games, but it isn't because my girlfriend Erin was following along some of the coverage with me, and she was saying like, oh yeah, I think let's play this co-op, this looks great fun. And then she watched me play for about 5 hours at the last weekend and was like, oh, it's Dark Souls again.
It's Dark Souls.
So sorry dear, I don't know what to tell you. And it's like, I don't think they misled anyone. I think it was maybe all these reviews
the reviews.
Overinflating your expectations, but
being a very good Dark Souls game is still an incredible achievement on
absolutely
its own.
Yes. And there is,
that can't be
like, when I say all the things I'm about to say, I want this to be framed in the way of like, it's still a FromSoft Souls game, which already puts it at like if we were scoring it, this is like minimum an 8, right? Like, and that's still like a cut above like everything else I've played this year.
They have the groundwork
except maybe Vampire Survivors.
Yeah, they have the groundwork set up to just like, okay, just follow your own guide and make the game you've made before, but in a new area with new bosses, and you're probably going to get a 9 out of 10.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. It's like, they make Bloodborne, and I'm like, Dark Souls, but, Gothic horror, excellent.
Yeah.
10. They make Sekiro, and it's like, Dark Souls, but we're doing feudal Japan, or wherever it was. And I'm like, cool, 10. And I think this game is probably going to end up being my least favorite FromSoft game.
Really?
Yeah, and I think it's because primarily of the switch to open world. I think that has lost the series more than it's gained.
That's the bit that I love.
Ooh, wow.
I'll open the floor for questions.
I think I'm going to agree with you on that. I'm not massively far in. I think we've clocked about 15 hours at this point, which is a lot of time. I'm at the point where there's so much left in the game to do, but I feel like at this point I know what the game is, right?
Yes.
So I know that like churches give you like sacred tears. I know this is that, that
exactly.
is that, etc. I know how, because when you first, I really think it's important to stress when you first play the game, it feels amazing because you go to your first like church and you're like, oh my god, and you find your first like gowl or whatever it's called with the rock circle things, and you're like, this is a boss. This is
just
cool.
A boss. He's just hanging out.
He's just hanging out.
Just a boss here. Yeah, and I'm like, at that point, I was like, I'm fully on board. This is solid 10.
Yeah.
I don't think this game. I think this is going to be their best game I've ever played. I think this might be the best game I've ever played personally ever. And that lasts about, for me, it lasted until I finished the first big dungeon, Stormvale Castle, and beat the boss there. And then you get to a new area, and you kind of start to see some stuff repeating. To where, you know, that Everjail that you found, there's like, oh, here's another one, and you're like, okay, still a different boss, so that's, you know, it's okay.
But it becomes less of, so because there's no map markers, you know, before you approach stuff. The first time you get to it, you're like, this is so interesting. This is cool. What's going on here? You know, this is great. Yeah. And then when you reach the second one, you're like, oh, okay, this means an open world boss that rewards a magic spell.
Yes, and there's a bunch of stuff like that. Yeah. A lot of repeating content in this game. And they do twist it up a lot. Like there's like the Chalice dungeons from Bloodborne were like these randomly generated like mini dungeons with a boss at the end. And there's dungeons in this which feel like they've almost been generated. But I think I don't think they are. I think they're a lot more curated than that. But it feels like they started with like a generated dungeon and then was like, okay, we'll put some twists in here, you know, throw some different mechanics in. But they all have the same tile set, same enemies, a lot of the same bosses.
Are these the little gremlin ones that are like hanging onto walls? And
you probably have done one already. Maybe
I've done
2
or 3.
Yeah. And it's still like this. You know, this sounds like negative, but it's still like, this is still really fun. I'm still really enjoying all of this. Like, I finished the game. I'm going to go back and start a new character for a thing I'm doing tomorrow. And it's like, yeah, it's still really good, but it just like...
Pants are still firmly on.
Yes, exactly, yeah. But yeah, yeah.
Do you feel it needed to be open world?
I feel like being open world let them do stuff they couldn't have otherwise. Like Josh said, there's a lot of like, you'll just be exploring and something will randomly happen, or you'll come across like a little like, I don't know what to call it, like ziggurat or something, and you'll step inside, there'll be a lift, you'll go down, it's like, oh fuck me, there's just a whole massive underground complex here that I'm now exploring, and that means like when you do find something new, it's even cooler, like because you found it in an open world, you weren't like pushed down a path you are in regular Dark Souls. But it also means it feels like they've had to fill out a lot more, like they've had a lot more real estate to fill out, and so they've had to, by necessity, repeat a lot of content.
You see, I have I actually much prefer this because I've only played like some of Dark Souls and then this game, and Dark Souls, it felt like, oh, even though there's different ways you can go, it always felt like I'm going down a corridor and I need to get from one end to the next. Like at the moment, I think I ended my playthrough of Dark Souls in Blighttown somewhere, and I've got to continue that, but I'm going to do that when the servers are back online. But for this game, I'm like, I beat a boss and then I'm struggling, and then I was like in like a building, and there's not even a boss, a normal mob that I'm struggling with. I was getting frustrated, but I was like, oh, okay, I can just teleport out and go explore. And I love the exploring in this game.
Yeah.
Like, it's like, oh, I can go around on my little horse and fight some mobs, and I don't have to care too much. Like, I'm not... Everyone else seems to be, I need to binge this game so I don't get spoiled and stuff. I'm like, I don't care about spoilers. I'm just playing as and when. Play a little bit. If I get frustrated, I'll be like, okay, I'll play it again in a bit. You know, like at the moment, I'm switching from sword and shield to trying the two-handed weapons. I was relying a bit too much on the shield, I think, and it's a learning curve. And I'm like, I just log on for a little bit, play a little bit until I get frustrated, and I'm like, okay, go off. But there's always the exploring for me. Like, I love going around the open world and finding like the little shrines and little like items and stuff, and that's a big, you know, you think, oh, that's a safe place, and a boss comes crashing down, it's like, okay, now I need to run away screaming.
And I think that's a really good point, is that I think this is the most accessible a FromSoft game has ever been, just because you're right, it's like if you just run up against something like that first boss, what's his name, Margit, Margit. You know, it feels like he's almost intentionally a little overtuned for the start of the game, just so that
100% deliberate,
so that you run up against him a few times and be like, okay, I'll just, go somewhere else for a bit. And then you realize there's like a whole other bit to explore down south, or you could go round the castle even and explore up to the north. And I think that's a really cool way to push people to just do whatever, go wherever, go just look at a place on the map and be like, there's some kind of building there, I'm just gonna go check it out. But I think it also loses something in that I never felt like I was in danger. Like, not okay, I got my shit slapped around a lot by bosses, so obviously I felt in danger at some point.
God, you're so good at this game. God.
Yeah. No, but I mean,
pro gamer. Wow.
So when you're in Blighttown, Steve, and there's the like, do I keep I've used a couple health potions. I got poisoned, so I had to use a bunch of healing, and it's like, do I keep pushing that little bit further to try and get to the bonfire, or do I backtrack to bank my souls and get a level up or something? And it's like, I never felt like that in this game, because at any point you can just open the map and be like, oh, back to bonfire, back to wherever I want to go. Yeah. And it ends up feeling like the analogy I had working in my head was like, when someone makes a pizza and they're like pushing out the edges with their fingers? That's what this game feels like. Where every time I'm like, oh, that boss killed me in one hit. I guess okay, boot up the map. Let's go down here, and we'll go see what's in this way. Yeah, and it's like in some ways that is cool, right? Because it definitely rewards exploration, but I feel like it loses that like sort of oppressive almost atmosphere that the previous games had.
Well, Dark Souls was like because it's Metroidvania style, not Metroidvania, but it's not open world. It's more scripted zones and corridors. I saw
like hubs and spokes, like a wheel. Yeah,
and it's like you can do Dark Souls and come to a boss and be like, okay, right, I can't kill this, as opposed to pressing on and like ramming my head against this boss. I'm gonna go down this corridor instead, and then that's the end of the corridor about, and then you go down it and there's another boss that also hurts, and it's like, right, I have to now do one of these.
Whereas and that's what I mean is like
what you're describing with Margit was we had the same thing. Margit feels very well designed in the way that it is supposed to teach you to explore and not ram your head against. But I didn't get the triumph because I rammed against Margit for like half an hour, couldn't do it, left, did a bunch of other stuff, came back and did Margit in one go, and it was like
exactly, and that means like the game is like really, it feels really weirdly balanced because there were a couple times where I was like, oh, this boss is hard, but I think I can learn that moveset, and I think I can beat it, right? And but it's like a choice now, because I could just go somewhere else, massively over level that boss, and then come back and beat the shit out of it without any issues. And it's like, it's weird, right? Because now before, when it was like very almost level based, it's like you could expect a player to be, we can guess, like, oh, you're a Capra Demon, you're probably X level, so we know roughly how to tune this boss. And then, but in this game, it feels like some of these bosses are all over the place with their difficulty.
Yeah.
And that's another thing is, I think this game has the weakest bosses of all the FromSoft games. I think that's my two biggest complaints so far is they lose more than they gain by going open world, and I think the bosses are extremely weak in this one.
Well, what I've thought so far is I don't think I've got enough bosses in to have a judgment about bosses and boss design and whatever. But I will say is you definitely fight less of them in like a play. You say you play for X amount of time. There's a lot more stuff in between bosses than in other Dark Souls games where you can play Dark Souls, kill a boss, play for like half an hour, 40 minutes, and then the next boss shows up. Whereas sometimes we've played this for hours and hours, and maybe done like
but
maybe
again, that's
maybe
like
no
another
boss.
Yeah, but again, that's like another symptom of open world is there's not really pacing because you can just go anywhere at any time. But and like again, I feel like I'm being really negative. I really like this.
Oh,
game.
It's a great game. It's a brilliant
fantastic game. Yeah. Just want to make that clear before people get mad at me.
Or you're probably within a very small subset of people that have actually finished it right now.
I checked that the achievement for now there are multiple endings. I don't know. That's not a spoiler. There's always multiple endings. the achievement for the ending that I got is currently sat at 0.3% of people have it. So yeah, I don't think there's many people quite at the end of the game yet.
And the way endings are for Souls games, you're gonna have probably gotten the most common ending, I imagine.
No, probably.
You didn't go to 7 random NPCs across the world in a specific order to get.
So that is another problem that the open world exacerbates. Is quests from games have always been a little arcane, I guess, is to put it like nicely.
Yeah.
And this game, more than any of the other ones, just needs some kind of like journal or a way to replay conversation with NPCs. Or one thing I had in my head while I was playing was because we were talking about Outer Wilds a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
And the rumor. No, what was it? What's it called? The rumor.
I think it's the
web of intrigue.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, it's like
whatever it is.
It's like a mind map kind of thing.
Yeah. The thing that's like, it'll give you, it will show a planet and say X happened and X said X about this, and maybe come back because there might be something else to find here. Yeah. And I feel like this game would be perfect if it had one of those, because it's like. The knee-jerk reaction to that is like people saying, well, I love the obscurity and I love not knowing things. But like, yeah, part of it for me is I just can't be bothered with that anymore. Yeah. Like, because there's some quests in this which you just would never.
Well, Outer Wilds was really good about that kind of stuff without also spoiling anything. Whereas, like you said, it will show a planet and it'll be like, are you sure you found everything? And you're like, okay, I'll have another
little look around there, and it's like, there's what was I gonna say? Yeah, and there's a middle ground between like Ubisoft go here, interact, like quest icons, and literally no information at all, which is what this game gives you.
There is you can buy from like NPCs like little rumors or something, like a little page that has like a hint or something.
Yeah,
if they maybe expanded that a little bit more. That could be perfect for it, where it's like, you've got like a page giving you like a slight hint to like where to roughly go.
Yeah, because this game is like, it starts up, you meet your first, there's like a hub, area, and you meet a whole bunch of characters, and then I was like, all right, catch you later, guys, and never saw any of those people ever again, like not once. And there was a couple people who would like, I'd come back and somebody would invade me in the hub, and I'd be like, okay, don't know who that was. Yeah, that's fine. There's a whole bunch of stuff like that. And sometimes things that you logically think would trigger. There's like a bunch of characters, and I did something that should have, I felt like, greatly affected one of these characters, right? So I like went back and I had a look around, and everyone's just giving me the same line of dialogue. I was like, oh, okay, all right, I guess not. But then like sometimes something completely, unrelated, it feels like will happen, and you'll check back in at the hub and be like, that character is just gone, and there's no note or guide to any. And it's like a lot of the time the solution to these puzzles is open the wiki, which is like, that's not intuitive either. That's not It's I get the part of the fun is like this crowdsourcing, solving these problems, right? Which I guess you would lose out with a more like guided system, but
I don't have the time for this.
I feel like by looking stuff up, I risk seeing other things that I don't want to. Like, it's really hard to look up, one thing and be like, where did this character go? And it's like, okay, they're in this place, which you need to kill X boss to unlock X zone and with X item, and you're like, oh, I didn't want to know any of that. God damn it.
There are entire YouTube careers created on the fact that there's no quest page. It's been this way with every single Souls game, and it's, as you're describing, they are so obscure to the point where I just don't care. I don't do them because unless it's like specifically a man saying go here, or it's like but half the time it'll be Sir Blah Blah of Remington, and he'll go,
oh my god, every character in this game begins with the letter R. It's ridiculous.
He'll be like, you should go to and he'll just say the name of an area and be like, you should go here and inspect between the 3 trees, and you'll find lady maiden of the, and I'm like, you've already lost me. I'll see you later.
Well, what's worse is like they'll give you very specific hints, right? Say an NPC does give you it's like, oh, that character, yeah, I saw him hanging out at blah blah blah. But it's like, oh, Aaron walks past and goes, hey, Will, have you got a second? I'm like, oh, what is it, dear? And then I missed that, and it's like the guy will never repeat that again. And it's like, okay, that quest is just over because I'm not exploring the entire world just to find that one guy.
Yeah, you go, Steve.
I was gonna say one great thing about this game that's come from this game is the memes, for sure.
Well, there's some good stuff.
There's been some great tri-finger butthole, of course. There's been no maidens. Are you maidenless?
They were the in-game messages are funny for like the first half an hour of the game.
Well, that's not an Elden Ring thing, right? That's always been a Dark Souls.
But it's gotten to the point where I'll be playing, with Laura, and like I said, we're like 14 hours in now, and we'll be in the overworld. We'll go into a little ruin. There'll be a skeleton on the floor, face down, with a message behind him, and I'll be like, "What's this one going to be?" Like, fiddle with me, bum.
Yeah.
And then you click it, and it's like try pickle butthole, and it's like, yep, there we go again.
Yeah. I can't remember
every female character, like try head, and it's like, oh, very clever, very good internet. It's like it's like you have to put up with a Twitch chat all the time while you're playing.
I've hardly summoned any real players in the game so far, and I resubscribed to my PlayStation Plus for this, so I paid 50 quid for another year's worth of subs to be told to like put pickles in big holes.
I can't remember who I saw saying it on Twitter, but I remember someone saying like, why is everyone saying grass? And apparently it's Japanese players saying laugh out loud. Like that's their
is it?
way of
I did wonder
that. That's why you see grass apparently in places.
There are some really good ones though. There's like because it's like this whole the fun ones are like the creative one, like every castle painting of a castle has like Fortnite question mark in front of it, which is really funny.
Yeah.
And there's like the community's obsession with is this dog, and it's like never a dog, it's always like an eagle or a turtle or something. Yeah, that one gets me. There's like really fun. There is some really funny people out there still dropping messages. The 90% try finger butthole. It's like, come on.
It's the ones that catch me off guard that get a little laugh. It's when I'll be in the overworld doing absolutely nothing, just going from point A to point B, and there'll just be a message in a field, and it'll just say Fortnite, and there'll be no reason, and it'll just get the tiniest little chuckle out of me. I'm like, okay.
It's like you're running through a forest, and there's like you see a message through the trees, and you're like, oh, what's this guy found? You run up to it, and it just says tree, like labeling one random tree.
Yeah.
Yeah, good job, man. Fair enough.
The amount of times that it's like, oh, treasure ahead, and then you see right before it saying liar ahead, or
those are pretty good. I like why is it always like expect message ahead or something, and then like 5 feet later there's just message. That's all it says.
There's the ones where you go into a bush, and there's just a mushroom pickup with a message in front that just says mushroom. It's like, thanks, dude.
Thanks, man. Yeah. No, it's still good. It's just 90% of them are fucking. And there were some good ones. I got some like good hints. That was like there was one guy I was fighting. I was like struggling on a boss, and there was one guy that was like try right or something and guard counter, and I was like try right and guard counter. So I went up, I stuck to his right hand side, and every time he hit me, I did a guard counter, and I was like, holy shit, this is like this guy's giving me a fucking strat in like 5 words. Yeah. Genius. Whoever that guy is. Well, yeah, I mean, he's not gonna listen to this, but you never know.
He might be.
Yeah, thanks, man.
This one's for you, kid. I'm trying to think what else has really happened. I mean, I've done one main boss, which is probably everyone's first main boss. It's the big castle one.
So you did Margit?
No, I mean I've done the main boss of that one.
Oh, the main. I
haven't done that yet.
Yeah.
What do you think of that boss? I really enjoyed it. I thought it was a good.
I enjoyed it. I did.
Good fight.
I did the NPC summon for it because I needed help because I'm a bit of a baby. But
yeah. No, I've this whole game. I've just been like some of the later bosses, especially, is what the reason I think they're so weak is they feel so unfair to someone who's just playing like melee. Because the whole From Software series, I've just been like, just gonna get a sword and a shield like the dude on the cover, and I'm gonna beat all these gods to death with it, and that's my strat. And this game feels like, nah, son, you're gonna summon and you're gonna use those ashes.
I've had a few enemies that we're getting to now where we're playing greatsword, two-handed greatsword. It's like here's a sword that's 3 times my height.
Yeah. I meant to message you and say, where'd you find that, actually? Because I was kind of looking up.
Well, that was before.
You tell me after the podcast.
Before we played, I just went on Google. I was like, I'm going to get a little bit spoiled, but I just Googled, where's the greatsword? I don't care if it's across the map, and I have to run across horrific enemies. Like, where's the greatsword? I want it. And then I got it and couldn't use it because it's high stat. But anyway, we're getting to some enemies now where they don't get staggered anymore from massive heavy attack greatswords. So it's just like, it takes me like a whole second of wind up, and then there's like after the attack there's like 2 whole seconds of just recovery. And now they just eat the attack. So I'm like, kind of at a loss here. You're supposed to get staggered. That's my whole game plan.
I've heard magic is quite powerful in this game. Like,
that's every Souls game.
There was a late game boss that I was like, I'm over this. It was a repeat. They've done it a couple times where it's they'll do remember this boss, but 2 of them, and they do that a bunch of times, and I'm like, I can't be. And they're like progress bosses as well, and I'm like, nah, I can't be fucked. So I started summoning people for those, like, just anything where I was like, nah, I feel like I don't want to do this. I started summoning some people, and if I ever wanted to just one phase easy mode a boss, I would find the like naked guy in a wizard hat who would just I would walk into the arena with my shield up, he would walk in behind me, and the boss would just explode. He'd do something, and
he casts like meteor,
would just disappear. Yes, pretty much.
He's got the black materia from Final Fantasy. He walks in, goes, check this shit out, and then the boss just dies in one hit.
I'm going to need you to tank for about 4 seconds, and then it's all solved. Yeah.
I've had the opposite as well, where it's like you say, you summon a guy that looks so cool. You're like, this guy's got his head on his shoulders. Look at his armor. Look at his weapon. And he walks in and gets 2 stabbed and dies.
And
I'm like, thanks, bro. You've made the boss harder for me because he's now got more health.
It's like, if you summon, it gets more health, doesn't it? So it's the guys who walk in and get clapped immediately. I'm like, oh jeez, thanks, man.
I'm like, just finish me off as well. This is already over.
I think that if you summon people, they get more health.
Yeah, usually if you get someone that's not brain dead, the act of getting help outweighs the health increase.
Yeah, because you can just like Monster Hunter, where it's like, oh, he's looking the wrong way, I'll just wail on him for a good 5 seconds before the AI has a chance to be like, I'm being attacked.
It's the difference of having to dodge and wait for the opening to he's always open and you just swing.
Yeah, or he's looking at you and then you just run away, and then you like I think it's something this game or the whole series struggles with is, but they'll make bosses really tough if you're playing solo, and then you summon someone and the boss is like an absolute pushover. Yeah. And it's like, I would love a middle ground where it's like a nice, I can play co-op with a buddy and it's a nice challenge for the 2 of us, but the AI just can't seem to handle it. I've had bosses where like the AI will jib out because like we're both wailing on him, right? And he's looking at one of us, and then he'll be like, I don't know who to attack, and he'll just like do like a jumping attack, but he'll just fly across the arena to the other side, like almost like fuck you guys, I'm out of here. This is bullshit.
I have a question, because I've only played like part of Dark Souls 1. What does the Dark Souls DLC usually look like, and do you think it'll be different for this game? Because I assume they'll do DLC since it was so successful.
DLC is usually like, I know in 1, I think it was just a bunch of cut content that they kind of put together. So it's like another area, basically, with a handful of bosses. I'd imagine there'll be DLC for this.
I mean, DLC normally is, in all Dark Souls games, DLC is normally pretty sick.
I think the best content in all of Dark Souls is the DLCs, if you can get around to playing.
In terms of what it will look like, Dark Souls DLC generally is like you go to a place and touch a thing and it just TPs you somewhere else.
Yeah, and they're like, more than ever, this would be so easy to put DLC in. You can just drop it into one of the empty parts of the map.
Yeah, I don't even think they'll do that. I think you'll go to somewhere, there'll be or is it usually like a painting or a gravestone or something, or you talk to some little old lady and she goes like, and you get teleported to like fucking a desert.
Yeah.
And it's like, there you go, new zone. Have fun.
I should also mention, while I've said the bosses are extremely weak, the boss presentation in this game is like the best it's ever been. There's some seriously cool shit to see in this game if you are into that kind of thing. Just like a cutscene will start, I'll walk through a fog gate, cutscene starts, and I'm like, oh fuck yeah, here we go. This is gonna be, and I'm never disappointed. It's always just incredible.
Well, that's what keeps you going through these games, for me at least, is just the enemy design.
It is. Really cool. It is for me as well. I always have to push myself through the last boss fight because I know that's it. Like I've seen everything the game has to show me, and it's like, do I really need to kill this last boss to like, I already know what he does, and I've seen his cutscene, and he's badass, but I don't want to sit here and learn his moves for the next 5 hours.
Yeah.
For me, I just can't wait to see speedruns of this game. When people have like perfected it, it's going to be so enjoyable to just watch.
I mean,
glitchless, yes.
Yeah.
But glitched speedruns are. This is very personal, but glitched speedruns of anything are just not fun to watch. When it's just, I've glitched out of bounds here, now I've gone through this trigger, now I'm at the end of the game, hit the boss,
couple
right,
games glitched can be fun to watch,
it depends. And I think it depends on the runner as well.
Yes.
Yeah.
I mean, it depends. I like a good mix. I don't mind if it's like, I've clipped through this wall to skip 5 minutes of content. Now watch me dagger, like naked man with a dagger, this like normally hard boss. Like if it's a good mix of both, I'm fine with that.
Yeah, I'd love to see somebody who's just really good, because the bosses in this, some of them, they feel like Sekiro bosses, where it's like, in Sekiro it could be like an I go you go kind of thing, but it's like they have such massive attack chains that you just watch them flail for like a whole minute, and then you'll be like, all right, get my one stab in, back to dodge rolling all around the arena. So I'd love to see some people like, no hit this game or something, because I don't know how you do it. I genuinely don't. There's some real shit in this game.
So I said I'm playing Greatsword. What did you just finish the game? What did you push through with?
I played exclusively strength, and I stuck with the longsword, and I found a couple of shield upgrades, but mostly, just upgraded that one starting longsword and killed everything with it. And I summoned
sword and board. You had a shield the
sword
whole time.
And board, yeah. And I started using midway through, and I was like, I still went into this like a purist, where I was like, I'm just gonna fight. I'm just gonna man mode all these bosses. And then midway through, I was like, nah, I just kind of want to see where this game's going. I'm gonna start. So I started doing like the ashes, and I started summoning people to help me and stuff. I think that made it more enjoyable personally.
We've gotten to the point where after you bash your head against Margit for a while, and like I say, you leave, you come back and you do it, and you try some other bosses, and you think, oh, we'll give it a try. We got like halfway through the boss comfortably. If we keep pushing, we can do it. And I think, at least me, I'm getting to the point where I have a go at the boss and have an honest good try, because your first attempt is always the best attempt usually.
That is, isn't it? Yeah.
And then after you do your first attempt and you wipe halfway through, it's like, okay, I'm already ready to like push on. I'm not here to spend 5 hours against the boss. The game's already 80 hours long.
I mean, and there are a couple bosses in there that I really, really enjoyed, that were like, those bosses where you walk in and the guy like just wipes the floor with you in about 10 seconds flat, and you're like, I don't know how I would ever beat this man. He's so speedy and he does so much damage. And then like over the course of like an hour, like 2 hours, you just pick apart his moveset and be like, all right, dodge, block, hit him, and then it becomes this like cool dance. And there's a couple bosses in there that was like that, and it almost reminded me of Sekiro a couple times.
It's gotten to the point, like I say, I think we might end up changing weapon, because the greatsword is really good at just wiping mobs. You can just like jump heavy slash on something's head. And most of the time
I found that.
Dies.
And if you haven't yet, the guard counters in this game make I think sword and shield a really fun way to play, because a lot of the times it's like a guy will bounce off your shield, you do the quick guard counter follow up, and it's like, oh, he's already staggered. That's cool. I like that.
So and it's gotten to the point where now that a few enemies and a few not like general mobs, but like, you know, sort of elite mobs, I guess you would call them. They attack so fast and they don't get staggered, and it's like, I don't actually know how to fight this anymore.
Yeah, there is some stuff in this, where you feel like, especially if like you said, you're using a slow weapon. I'm like, I don't know where I would ever get a go in this fight. Especially it's like here's two guys sat next to each other and they have crazy long attack chains and they all attack like super fast. And I'm like, when do I swing my sword back? Because every time I do, I just get stun locked.
It feels like there are openings, but I have to, because the wind up and recovery is so long, I have to guess at what's going to come next.
Yeah.
So I'm like, okay,
oh my god, yeah,
I can get a move in here if he does this sword attack next. And it's little bits like that. So I think I'm going to go back to something faster. I've had fun with the greatsword. It's always a laugh.
I would recommend anyone, no spoilers, but I would recommend anyone like starting or still in early game, invest in some kind of magic or ranged attacks, because they seem very useful late game, and I didn't have any, and I was sorely like, I wish I could just shoot this guy a little bit from afar. It's kind of annoying. Yeah,
I'm still at the point where I'm like, could I start again and go magic?
Yeah, lame.
Yeah,
because magic is definitely easier, but it's always so much fun in Souls games. Especially when you've got some context of like playing melee, and there's that one guy that can mess you up, and you're like, "Yep, just gonna soul arrow him from."
I'm gonna come back, and mess him up with just a laser or something. I
saw a tweet from a content creator of someone saying like, "Oh, normal Elden Ring streamers, they spend 5 hours on a boss," and then it was like this one person was like spend hours picking flowers, and then they summoned 2 people in to like be their Pokemon and go kill the boss. Like, that's what I want. That's what I want to do. I want to summon in Pokemon.
I think it's cool. There's like this discussion every time a FromSoft game comes out about like difficulty levels and stuff, and differentiating difficulty and accessibility and stuff like that. But I think this game has kind of thing, but it's all just in universe stuff. Like, you just, if you really are struggling, there's so many options for you to, whether it's like magic, summons, those spirit ash things, whatever they're called, so many items. It's a fantastic game. I finished it in 70 hours. I'm gonna go play a bunch more tomorrow with my brand new character.
That is one thing I will say though, is I love exploring, so I have explored and I found some really good stuff. But it feels like you could definitely miss it, which is a bit of a shame.
There's a third potion you can get. I don't know if you guys have it.
Magic,
didn't get it.
Psychic.
I didn't get it till about 50 hours of my 70 into the game, because I just didn't go that way at the start, and I was kind of playing like a go with the flow kind of character, like, just, the game's kind of pushing me to this dungeon, I'll do that. It's good. And I was just sort of wandering about wherever NPCs were telling me to go. And I just never went to that church right at the start. Never got that.
There's tons of stuff like that. You can, if you're not in night time at the first camp, you can miss the summon bell.
I was gonna say, I was watching someone stream, a friend of mine stream the game, and they were like, "Oh, who's this character?" And they just handed them the bell you used to summon those ashes.
Really
never saw that
important
character.
Mechanic. In the first little, not like town, but like little outpost you go to of enemies, there's a tiny little stairway down, which is where you get the first dagger to like add and change Ashes of War to your weapon. Which again, you can just miss, because there's all the discussion about Margit and how you can miss the summoning bell, and a lot of the discussion about Margit was like, oh, if you're struggling, just keep at it, you'll get it. Make sure you summon the jellyfish. And I'm like, what the
jellyfish.
How do you do this?
That was it. Yeah, I couldn't, because I didn't get the bell. So I did the first dungeon, which gets you like a bunch of, is it like wolves or a bunch of zombies or something? The ashes. And I was like, oh, I remember in that very first trailer.
Yeah, the one trailer that I watched as well.
Dudes. Yeah. And I was like, neat, okay, I'll do that. And then it's like, you equip it, and I'm like,
you can't use it.
What do? Yeah. My God. And then even worse, because I'm a strength character, I didn't put any points in like magic, so I don't have any. What is it? FP?
FP.
Got
FP,
I don't have any of that.
And stamina.
So, so even when I had the bell, which I had to buy from a vendor later on, after someone told me where to get it, Even I had the thing equipped. It cost 1 more FP than I had, and I went like 30 hours. Like, why can't I summon? The mechanic just doesn't work. What am I doing wrong? And then I messaged people on Discord, and it might have been you, Steve, who said like, "Do you have enough FP?" And I was like, "Oh my god,
that wasn't me."
Yes,
might have been your brother. I can't remember, but yeah, it was
little bits like that.
And it's like
it was also
even
69, right?
It was I needed like something like that. I had 68 and I needed 69,
nice.
and
Ew.
but it was like I'd missed so much already. I was like, I guess the mechanic just doesn't work for me, and that's fine. I'm missing something.
Yeah,
classic Elden Ring. It really got me there.
That's the one thing that game can do, where you have seemingly all the pieces of the puzzle, and it doesn't work. And my reaction is, I'm an idiot. I've missed something.
yeah.
Instead of the game just being like...
It's not the game being an asshole. Yeah, it's me. It's something wrong with me. But I will say there's some puzzles in that game which are super intuitive. And I walked up and I was like, a blocked door. I wonder what they want me... And then it's like, there's some clues about, and I'm like, oh, it wants me to do... And it's like something that super arcane. I think it was like summon a very specific Ashes of War.
Yeah.
And I did that, and the gate opened, and I was like, I am so clever. Beat you at your own game, Elden Ring. And I like had a little smug on for like 10 minutes after that as I was exploring this place I shouldn't have been. Yeah,
it's great. Like, for everything like that, there are people that just won't get that at all.
They'll walk up to that door, be like, door blocked, and then be like, okay, and then go off and leave. Yeah.
It's like we said, how Margit is designed to specifically make you learn to go elsewhere, right?
Yeah.
But you'll still see a lot of stuff online where it's like, been doing Margit now for 8 hours, can't do it, it's too hard, this game is literally stupid.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh well, go somewhere else.
I mean, and it's like part of it is that's the best part about these games, right? Is like, just figure it out. But I feel like there's a limit to how much I want to just figure it out.
My patience gets less as I get older, which is that's just grumpy old man. Slowly coming in over time.
Might not be patience, as you get older. It might just be that everyone's got TikTok brain now, where
maybe
if something's not grasping you, move on to the next thing.
Yeah,
you're not wrong. But it's in an age where it's like we say, I have, I maybe have 2 hours after work. If I want to spend, outside of doing chores and cooking dinner, and then I boot up Elden Ring, and I could use those 2 hours to fight a boss and not kill it. It's just like I don't know. No, I haven't got time for that. Sorry.
There is just so much in this game. It's
massive. I was talking about this on your Discord the other day about how there's definitely what feels like for me like content fatigue, where despite like as cool as all the bosses are, as amazing as all the locations and stuff look, if I play so much of it and I get 30 hours in and I just get tired, if the whole rest of the game is going to be like that, I'll be like, okay, I've gotten everything I need out of this game.
Yeah, and it's like what the legacy in air quotes dungeons like Stormveil Castle, when they do crop up, are just on par with everything From's done before, right? There's so many little intricate ways to get through them, and the design is so well done. All the encounters and stuff are so fun.
Yeah.
But it doesn't feel like I ran into that many of that kind of thing, and a lot of it was running around in the open world, looking at cool stuff, like dipping into a little church and fighting maybe a mini boss to get an item. Yeah. Which is like fun, but it's not.
Well, the scary part that I have with this game is that any other game, I'd be like, okay, I'm bored of the open world now, right? I'm gonna mainline the game and finish it. But I'm actively worried in this game that if I skip the side content, I actually won't be strong enough. Like, the game's already hard, right?
Yeah, I think you would have to.
You have to almost
not even grind. It's not the right word.
No, because the game's fun. It's just a lot of it.
You would have to go and do a bunch of non-essential stuff.
Yeah, so say
explore some areas. Yeah.
Say if this happens early and you're like, okay, I like the game, but I don't want to do all the side stuff. I just want to do the main game. Like, what are you gonna do? Do all the dungeons with one Estus flask, or like, it's like you can't do that. Not as a casual / first time player.
No, because the actual like quest chain, the main quest chain is when you sort of lay out the bullet points of what you need to do. Is like very short. You could breeze through it fairly quickly. Like if you had a character with all max stats, right? Yeah, you could do it in hours probably. Like maybe even less. And it's all like getting distracted on the way is where all the content comes from, which is great. But it's like, like you said, if you just beelined, you could massively run up against some walls on your way to credits in this game.
Well, it's like, you know, the other big examples of games like this that you can do is like Witcher 3 always comes to mind, where you can get so fatigued in that game because there's so many side quests, and the side quests are all really good. I never
finished it,
but you can get to a point where you just want to finish it, right? So if you skip all the side quests, do the main story, what do you miss? You miss maybe some cool stories. You miss maybe a few armor pieces or swords that will make you stronger, but you don't need them.
Yeah, well, because also that game has like a story mode. You can just make everything die in one hit and breeze through it if you really want.
So yeah, I do worry a little bit about Elden Ring because
I think
I want to finish it as of right now. If you ask me, are you going to finish it? I legitimately don't know right now.
But I think there is enough stuff, easily enough stuff, that if you just like went at your own pace and just sort of went, oh, that boss felt a bit strong, maybe and you just open the map and be like, that weird outcrop of rocks over there on the map looks fun. Let's drop a marker there and go and find something. And you always find something. And if you ever just like really want to breeze through a boss, you just go do something else for a bit. It never runs you up against a proper wall like the other Dark Souls did.
I think it's like
the other Souls games.
My mindset has almost changed has definitely changed from the initial hype, saying like I've got to get this as soon as possible, don't want to get spoiled, this, that, and the other, to one of what Steve's explaining it, where it's just like, okay, it's out now. I'm just gonna play it a couple hours here and there. One day I'll probably finish it, but I'm not gonna rush it. I'm not gonna rush it anymore because the amount of time I have to put into it would not constitute as a rush.
Yeah.
Tell me about it.
Yeah. So, basically, I need to quit my job and play Elden Ring all day.
And just play Elden Ring, yeah. I would love to revisit Elden Ring once you guys have all finished it and have a discussion, because there's some stuff late game that I would love to talk about with people who have also been through it.
Yeah.
I just wish the co-op was better. So if it was like, oh, we could log on and just play together without having to do summons every 2 seconds.
This has been the conversation for Souls games for over a decade.
I know it's like all thematic and it's part of the world and stuff, but I would just really like to, get her in the game. We log in and we just go like, all right, lobby together. Let's go. We're in for the whole game.
Just make a lobby. Just make a lobby system.
Yeah, and there's stuff. So it's like easier than ever to play with friends in this, right? Where you can set a multiplayer password. So I'll put down my sign and only one of my friends will see it. But that doesn't stop people just invading you. And it's like, again, it's like, I know it's part of the experience is people randomly invading you can happen. That's not like, I don't really want to deal with that. I know Erin definitely wouldn't want to deal with that. And because the only people invading are like tricked out sweat lords who have min-maxed their build to the absolute extreme, and I just don't want to deal with that.
Yeah, I think we were playing, and at the start we got like some twisted bloody fingers of death or some shit, and I'm like, okay, this is the invade mechanic, whatever. Stick that right in the back of the inventory. We're not going to be needing that.
Toss that. Yeah.
I would invade someone, turn up, trip over my own shoelaces, and fall off a cliff. And
that's exactly that's where I'm at. Yeah.
So I do think it could be fun, like if you've got like a big group of people to have like, oh yeah, you're playing with friends, and then friends invade you. That could be fun, but not randoms who are like decked out.
Yeah, I would love if I could set like a community setting where it's like everyone can co-op and invade, but you have to be in this group, right? Because I know like no one I know is going to be like super hardcore ganking you at every opportunity kind of invading, but it might be fun to see like, fuck, Steve's here and he's trying to fuck me up. Like that would be great. I would love that.
If this is how they want Dark Souls to be, there's no reason they have to change it, but you could have it in the options, just have it as opt out, where it's like, it's not hidden away, but
the majority of how they make their game, is it? It's the same reason they don't put any fucking clues about quests in.
And now it's never going to change because it's 10 out of 10 game of the millennium.
I don't know. I've seen a lot of backlash, especially to things like NPC quests, and some of the later enemies in this game. And I'm like, oh, maybe they'll listen to some feedback.
Well, I don't think we'd get anything like that until DLC, if they are going to change anything.
Well, no, we won't see anything like that till like a sequel, but that's still,
Yeah.
And there will be a sequel.
Oh, there'll be Elden Ring 2.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. Elden Ring 2 Electric Boogaloo.
Just make sure it just has enough time. They took their sweet time with this one. Just make sure they take their sweet time with the next one.
When was I was thinking about this while playing though. When was Sekiro? It's like 4 years ago.
I was gonna say like 2018. Yeah.
Hey Siri. When did Sekiro come out?
This plays great for the podcast.
I can't even hear it. So.
I don't know when. She spelled that completely wrong.
She tried, bless her.
Yeah, she actually tried. Yeah.
Sekiro came out 2019.
2019.
See, and I was playing through this like, this is remarkable for the turnaround between Sekiro and now. Is even, with the delays, I was like, this is a crazy amount of world to explore for what, like 3-year development time?
Yeah, it's just people. I assume it's just high manpower, just crunching out assets and world design.
Yeah, I guess like non-stop crunch or something. Yeah.
Plus, you've got George R.R. Martin doing 100
real
hour
cool
weeks.
Shit. Well, yeah, okay. Maybe other people can discern some like George R.R. Martin fingerprints in this game, but this feels an awful lot like a regular FromSoft game. I don't know.
He's obviously done all the tri-finger butthole messages.
Yeah, I've seen that a lot of those like attributing those messages.
We need you to go around the entire world map and populate it with hidden wall here messages.
Yeah, it's just him. Yeah.
Is this a dog?
I saw a good one in the first big castle, and it was after hours and hours of finger butthole and all that, and then there was a big pit at the bottom, and somebody had just written castle butthole next to it, and I was like, yeah, okay, that's right, yeah, that got me.
Oh my god, that's great.
I was like, well played, good twist. Yeah.
Okay, welcome to the weekly meeting, George R.R. Martin. What have you done this week? I put a try pickle message in front of a woman. Okay, good job. Here's your $10,000 paycheck for the week. I think he did like background lore, I think, and like some of the world design, I think.
Yeah,
maybe.
I gotta say, I'm not crazy on the like background and lore of this one. It's not. It doesn't light a fire in my loins like Bloodborne.
Oh, you've not watched a 7-hour lore video yet, have you? So...
No, well, that's it. I need all the lore experts to come out and release their videos so I can understand.
There's enough content in this game for like Vati Video and those channels to make Elden Ring videos for like 5 years.
That guy must be like, thank God FromSoft propping up this guy. Give him a career. Yeah,
you can already see it where it's just like, months from now, a new 10-minute video from a Elden Ring, channel where it's like, this woman in this shrine at evening daytime. You talk to her and she says this.
Yeah,
it's like, okay.
And I will say there's hints at other things going on in this world that I didn't discover, and places that I've seen from afar almost, that make me be like, oh, okay, I'm excited to go back in and have a deeper look at this place, because there were chunks of the map still missing when I finished. I was so dedicated to my I'm just gonna go with the flow, man,
Yeah.
And there's a whole northern section of the map where it was like, no one ever pointed me in that direction, so I just didn't go there. So I'm excited to see what's going on up there next playthrough.
So am I right in thinking not every grace does it, but when a grace points like a lightning bolt, that's towards a main boss area, like a
That's towards some kind of big boss. Yeah.
Because I wasn't sure if it's just like if it was pointing towards like quote unquote content, or if it's like go here to get key item.
No,
for the main
I think
story.
that points you to one of cause the start of the game is getting 2 of those big grand runes or whatever it's called. Or something
I've
like
got
that.
1.
And Godfrey has 1, and then you have to find a second. And I think, no, because there's the one that at the bottom which points south, which doesn't point you. I think it's just pointing you at
because I followed that one south, and I killed a boss, and it was a dead end, and I was like, okay.
Yeah, that threw me through a fucking loop as well.
Why am I here?
The first one points you dead north, and then I explored around that little field for a bit, and got another grace, and it was like, go south, and I was like, oh, what? what are you talking about?
Going cross-eyed.
Where do you want me to go? Yeah. What's going on, game?
And then I turned the game off because of decision fatigue.
Yeah, that's another thing. Or some of these quests get a bit in the weeds, and someone will be like, there was a great dialogue pop up. I won't spoil it. No, I won't.
Don't spoil it.
But it was a great dialogue pop up where it's like, do you want to do X? And I was like, and it's like, yes, no. And I'm like, how do I even begin? You've given me nothing to go on. How do I even begin to make this decision?
I love that.
But I did it.
That's the thing I've noticed a lot, is it will be like, do you want to accept the help of this NPC or do this? And I'm like, I'm gonna say yes because I don't know otherwise. Like, what what the actual.
This is my experience. This is what I mean. Where it's obscure quests, and they're so obscure where it's just like I don't care. Like someone will ask me like, "Is this true?" And I'm like, "Yeah, sure, why not?"
Yeah, there's a whole part of this game where it's like you get told the plan, right, in air quotes, and then all the way through I'm like, I don't feel like I'm doing the right thing here, and then it's all the way through to the end I was like. And it's like, well done, you finished Elden Ring. And I was like, okay.
Yep.
All right.
Time to watch all the other endings on YouTube.
All right, I trust you.
Looking forward to playing some more. Yeah. Have we wrapped that up? Do you think we're out of that?
I think we went through basically everything. Yeah, like I would love to come back and revisit it. Maybe I'll discover some more stuff. I want to hear your guys' thoughts on the late game Elden Ring. I want to hear Sam weigh in.
I'll be chipping away at it slowly.
I don't know when I'll get around to playing it.
Someday.
I'm also extremely disappointed to hear I'm not going to get any Horizon Forbidden West coverage from you, Josh. You immediately bailed on that game. It's very funny.
It could be 1 week or 3 weeks.
It's so sad because after what I've seen and what I've watched of Elden Ring, for Horizon to just get dumped on again, and it actually Horizon is probably the better game of the two.
I wouldn't be surprised if it was.
No, you're crazy.
Have you played Horizon? Have you played
Horizon
West?
I played I played the first one all the way through, and it was fine.
I thought the first game's brilliant.
I liked the robots.
Yeah,
that was it.
Hell yeah!
Basically, that was it.
No, it seems silly, but it feels like because they're both massive open world games, I can't play them both at the same time, and I totally could, but I don't want to.
I was listening to a podcast the other day, and like skipping through all the Elden Ring spoiler talk that was obviously happening, and it was like, all right, we're going to talk about Horizon, and I was like, oh, well, Josh isn't playing it, and it doesn't sound like anyone else is going to play it for a little bit, so yeah, whatever, I'll let them chat about Horizon. They were like, all right, we're going to spoil some very minor, things like mid-game twists. And I was like, whatever. Like, what the dinosaurs going to be, people? Is that the twist? And then it's like, they just started dropping stuff like, not that, but on that level. And I was like, oh my, that sounds very fun. I'm annoyed that I spoiled that for myself now.
I need to play it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
My plan is I'm going to play Triangle Strategy next.
Yeah.
And then I'm going to play Horizon, and then I think I'll leave Elden Ring to last.
Yeah. Well, that's cool. I think we'll go, because we've been talking about this for a while, we'll go straight into the first. There's 2 bits of news really quickly at the start, which are Elden Ring related, so we'll wrap it up very quickly. This first one here is very Japanese, but it's basically the official Bandai Namco statement. It says...
There's an English button there. Does that work?
Where? You're lying to me. Shut up.
Top right. I mean, look.
Oh, you are right.
Just like that.
I thought you were trolling me again. Basically, the TLDR is that they're all getting pay rises. The people that worked on Elden Ring, which is good. I think you killed.
You know what? They deserve it.
Yeah. So they're getting. I think I read somewhere though that their entry wage is already quite low. So it's kind of like it's a good and bad story. It's good they're getting a pay rise. Bad that they're producing games of that caliber on such low wage.
Yeah, goddamn. Yeah, pay those guys more.
It translated to like I think the entry level wage, for like that dev studio was like $32,000 US.
Oh boy, that's not a lot. Yeah,
it's it's a very highly skilled job making the best content in the industry being paid.
Yeah. Those guys should be like rock stars at this point. Yeah,
I don't know about that. The best content's pushing it a little bit.
I mean,
it's okay.
Look at those reviews, Steve.
It's about the reviews, yeah.
You disagree with Metacritic?
You can disagree, but there's the next story, which is
But Kirby has Big Mouth mode, so that's obviously going to be Game of the Year.
Probably, yeah. You're just thinking about rude things about Kirby, so I'm going to move on rapidly. So Elden Ring's the biggest launch of a game since Red Dead 2. That's not FIFA or Call of Duty.
That's good. I'm glad this series is. I mean, it's been mainstream for a while, like since Dark Souls maybe, but it's still had this weird it almost still feels like it's a fringe IP, but I know it's not.
Yeah, it's always
glad lots of people playing it.
This is UK charts, by the way.
Yeah, UK digital charts.
For me, Elden Ring was that it was like every time there were being games announced, it was always like, is Elden Ring going to be at this one? Is Elden Ring going to be at this one? It was the game that people were frothing at the mouth for. This is like the magical unicorn and Phoenix had a baby and now it's here. It's the promised child. Because, it's like Half-Life 3. It was like, oh, is it actually going to come out at some point? But this one actually has come out.
Elden Ring being asked for at every show, though, was... Yeah, it was always going to be a good game. It was always going to be a Souls game. But that was a meme.
It was a meme, but it was like, you could tell people were desperate for it.
It's like people shout about Hollow Knight Silksong at every single Nintendo Direct. It's like, where's Silksong? Yeah, E3, where's Silksong? That's now the new one. And it's like...
And it's like half the people don't even know what they're asking for. Yeah. It's a meme first, yeah.
No, it's Breath of the Wild 2 now. We deserve that game.
Or Elden Ring was... Everyone, I think, knew it was going to be good. No one knew it was going to review this well. I think personally, I thought it was going to be a solid 9, not just like average 10 out of 150 reviews.
It's so rare to have a studio that's like, we're making X, and I'm like, say no more. I'm there day one, and it's almost guaranteed that I'll enjoy it. At least to some degree, And it feels weird you even saying it. Like everyone knew it was going to be good, and it's like, well, we didn't look at all the games that we knew were going to be good and now aren't, like Battlefield, Halo for me, Cyberpunk, and it's like so many flops, and it's like I was just thinking on the run up to release, like this could be terrible.
There's an alternate universe where Cyberpunk came out and was the best game ever and was everything that it promised to be, and everyone's like, yeah, of course it was going to be good. We knew it was going to be good.
Yes,
That opposite could happen to Elden Ring. Elden Ring could have it's everyone knew it was going to be decent. It could have easily though just been another Souls game that sells well, but it's another solid Souls game for people that like Souls games. But this is clearly a game that's breaking out into mass market and selling stonks.
I can tell you that all of my colleagues that play video games very casually, I got a console. Every single one of them has bought Elden Ring.
Yeah,
nice.
Two of the guys
it's so good to hear, because it's so much fun talking about this game. In our little spoiler chat in Discord, us talking about the things we found and posting pictures of our characters and stuff. It's like, oh, it's such a great game to talk about.
I have a guy I work with who I've spoken to does not play any games, and he said, "What were you doing on your day off?" I said, "Oh, I was just playing a new game that just came out, really good game." He was like, "Oh, is that Elden Ring that everyone's talking about?" And it's like, you have no reason really to know this, but you do. If this was just
my mum hasn't texted me about it or something.
If it was just Dark Souls 4, and it was like I said, it's still a good game, but it's just Dark Souls 4. He wouldn't have known that.
Yeah, yeah.
So yeah, but yeah, it's doing insanely well, and good for them.
Elden Ring good.
Elden Ring good. Okay, let's move on. We'll move on from Elden Ring. We'll move on. There's not a whole lot of news this week, but there's a few interesting bits. I'll bring up this one because this one's quite sad.
Yeah.
This is Babylon's Fall.
I had to look up what the game was.
Yeah, I do not. I usually know about these types of games. I had no idea.
So
I've seen the name go
the
around.
Company that I love all of their games, and they're like.
Who is this?
So this is Babylon's Fall. It's just come out. I think it came out the same day as Elden Ring, if not very close.
Very close. Not
it is a game published by Square Enix, created by Platinum Games.
Yeah, it's a collaboration.
It's a collaboration.
So surely, Josh, that equals a slam dunk, right?
It should be an absolute slam dunk. From what I've seen of this game, from what I've seen of people talking about it, its reviews, it is hot garbage. It's really bad.
That's a real shame.
It's a full price game. So if you go on Steam, it's $59.99. Great British pounds. It's a full price game.
Mm-hmm.
It's got battle passes and microtransactions out the wazoo. Yeah. It's the same thing. And it's just not very good, and no one's playing it. Basically,
it's got what the fuck? It's got 135 reviews.
Yeah, it is a proper game.
Apparently, it's a grind fest, and it doesn't look anything spectacular either.
It has 130 reviews. Elden Ring has 166,000.
Yeah, it might have got overshadowed a little bit.
Yeah.
Although, I will say, now that I've seen this game, I'm like, when this comes out on Game Pass in a couple of months because it's done so poorly, I'll give it a try.
Yeah, this will be free to play.
Oh god, there's a £95 deluxe edition.
Yeah.
How does a game like this come out and we not know of it? You know what I mean?
I knew of it. I just didn't know it was coming out. I've seen it a while back. It's got, you can probably see in this screenshot here. Not great for listeners, I'm sorry, but it looks like ass. It's gone for like a really weird, almost like painterly style, but it just doesn't look. It doesn't look.
I thought that was just like a low res screenshot.
No, it's got like a really painterly style, but it comes.
What is
quite
this
blurry.
game? It's multiplayer, right? That's all I know. And it's like
multiplayer.
It's a hack and slash game, which straight away, if being made by Platinum Games, again should be a slam dunk. You know, the people that make all your good hack and slash games, people that have touched Devil May Cry, Bayonetta, Metal Gear, Rising, Revengeance, all amazing games. But it's a 4-player co-op games as a service version, so I assume it's got like what comes with that normally: replayability, keep playing, grind.
Yeah. But
it's just, I think fundamentally it's just not very good. On top of the fact that it's really expensive and came out at the same time as Elden Ring.
Like, it might just
zero marketing. I had no idea.
Yeah. That's what I mean. Like, if this game had a ton of people playing it, I think that might have skewed reviews, right? Because if not a lot of people are playing it, that already puts it in a negative light for you to start reviewing it.
Yeah, it's like you say, like you look at this now as a game that is full price and is a quote-unquote games as a service. The fact that it's a games as a service but no one's playing it makes it essentially worthless.
Yeah.
Because it won't get any service.
Here's the top Steam review. Babylon's Fall flat.
Yep.
Full stop. That's it.
Nailed it.
You know what the most damning thing about the Steam page is that I'm looking at here?
What's that?
It says in the bottom right, similar to games you've played, Hood.
Oh no!
Oh boy! Poor Babylon's Fall. That's a Steam like bitch slap if ever I saw.
Yeah, it's not really helping its case, is it?
I think also what's bad about this game is it's Square Enix. Other than Final Fantasy games, they've been doing poorly recently. Like Avengers did poorly, Guardians of the Galaxy done poorly. That's coming out on Game Pass on the 10th, and that's like
Galaxy do poorly. I thought that got really good.
I
reviews.
think it underperformed.
Underperformed what they wanted. Outriders did poorly.
Is this a classic Square Enix
it is,
where a game sells 4 million copies and they go, well, it was not 6 million copies.
Yeah.
So it was on here somewhere. Yeah, on this article. So it says, for comparison, another live service game published by Square Enix, Marvel's Avengers, saw 28,000 concurrent players at launch. That would be and that was branded a failure. This had 650.
Even Outriders, that game I didn't know too much about. That was still got like a decent chunk of players.
Outriders, I think, actually did okay. I don't know if it was branded a failure or not, but Outriders, it says here, peaked at 125,000 players, which seems, compared to 28,000 of the Avengers.
That was a 50 quid game as well. That can't be. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what. I know Square Enix have classically ridiculously high standards for their.
Does Square Enix just not market their games? Like, is this a thing?
Possibly.
Well, Guardians of the Galaxy got several marketing and trailers. Like that game, I was like, they're excessively to the point where I'm like, I don't care. Why are you spending half an hour segments at the Game Awards telling me about this game? I don't care.
I just think like Elden Ring announces its release date. Do you not go? Let's just get the fuck out of the way of this. Like whatever money we'll lose by delaying for 2-3 weeks, surely it doesn't.
Yeah.
It equals out by not being. Because regardless if Elden Ring was good or bad, it's all anyone would be talking about for the next month.
It feels like 8 lead devs sitting at a table for Babylon's Fall. The game's just come out. It's dead on arrival. And someone says, why didn't we push this back? And they all go, well, I was thinking about it, but I thought you'd do it. Because it's so obvious. But they're like, I don't know, I thought you were doing it.
Yeah, but not even like this is all right, this flopped. But like even stuff like, I'm sure Horizon will do fine, but maybe I'm like outside of that ecosystem. But do you not just say, let's just give Elden Ring a couple weeks? I know it's a big machine of a global launch of a video game, right? But all right, we sent out a memo, we're delaying the game by a month.
I think I remember it was with GTA. It was with GTA 5 when that first came out on Xbox 360 and PS3. Yeah, and it was like top news today. GTA 5 is coming out at this day, and then over the next week, it was like this game's been delayed.
Yeah,
it's been pushed back 3 weeks. It's now been moved.
Same thing happened with like Diablo 3 or something like. There was a bunch of other games, that just said like.
There's been a couple games
getting out of the way.
Yeah,
you have to swallow your pride and be like, look, I've been working on Babylon's Fall for 3 years. I love this game. It's my baby. We cannot compete with Elden Ring.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, this game is dead, basically.
That's a real shame because they came out recently and said we want to do more live service stuff, right?
Yeah, they've made a whole studio developed for live service games, and this was like the first one.
I feel like though, this could have been a game where all of this press of it being a flop could have been enough marketing.
I see what you mean. Like now,
this is the most marketing it's had.
Elden Ring is still a thing. It's still not going to happen.
Because like in a like Steve said, in like a complete dry spell where nothing's coming out, and this pops up on Game Pass. Now I'm like, well, how bad is it, mate? Like, now I gotta find out. Yeah, and I know what you mean. So like, no press is bad press, right?
It's my curiosity.
Apart from that guy that wrote trash in all caps on that video, I just saw that.
My curiosity is not enough to pay 60 quid for this.
No, absolutely not.
Yeah,
no,
but it's like this game came out on the 3rd. Apparently, it was released on
March
March
3rd, so 3 days ago.
And Triangle Strategy came out March 4th. And I know what Triangle Strategy is. Yeah. I've seen it in Nintendo thingy press event and whatnot.
We've had a couple demos for it.
Surely Babylon's Fall should be a bigger game.
It's it feels like
I know what you mean, like a new Platinum. But then Platinum always have this weird like big release like something just thrown together like that. They had that Transformers fighting game.
I was going to say,
I might play that just because it's Transformers and I love Transformers.
They've had games in the past that have been average to sometimes not great, but they're not normally full-priced games that are advertised as games. They have a Legend of Korra game They have
I forgot that was
they
them.
have a Transformers game. They have, I think, a TMNT game as well.
Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah.
They have tons of little projects.
It's like they have these little projects to like prop up their big games that they make. You know, like we'll do a licensed Transformers game, whatever. We're not going to really try, but that pays the bills so we can make another Nier or Bayonetta.
They released 2 Star Fox games.
Or Vanquish.
I forgot
Vanquish 2. Where is it, Platinum? You cowards.
That's the biggest thing that I worry about, right? It's just like Babylon's Fall is a bad game that wasn't advertised. It doesn't really deserve to succeed, maybe you could argue. I don't know. But at the same time, it's like, this is probably going to kill some of my favourite series.
Yeah, I wonder, like, they put the chart up, and it's like Babylon's Fall the bar is so in the minus that they're like, right, to counter, here's all the chunks of money we had accounted for Bayonetta 5. I
know you're halfway through development on the wonderful 101-2, which is a game that I love.
And they're like, we need to get on
next Star Fox game.
Yeah, all right.
No, they made Star Fox. they made Star
Kick him
Fox.
out while he's down, Sam.
Yeah, it's just because last game I played for them was Astral Chain. I bought that full price.
Was that good?
It was good. I really enjoyed it. But it's
Obviously
another.
Nier.
What's the last game I played?
Nier Automata.
Absolute.
Oh yeah, I played Nier.
Absolute banger.
Yeah, you got the TMNT game.
I didn't think much of Nier, but let's not go there maybe today.
Yeah. I don't think that's a winning argument for you.
Have I played any Platinum games?
I
don't think I have.
If most people, if they've played any of them, have touched either Nier Automata or Bayonetta.
No, not me. I've not played any.
Metal Gear Rising.
Metal Gear Rising is amazing.
The one game I was interested in playing was Scalebound, but that got cancelled.
Oh yeah.
Oh god, Scalebound.
That was the one that could have got me in, but no, they took that.
It was like I don't know. There's so many people that's like, bring back Scalebound, and it's like, what? Based on what?
It's such a weird thing. People were so excited for Scalebound. It's like they showed one trailer. It was in a kind of semi-open world, running at 20 FPS, shooting a dragon. Yeah. It's like, what part of this is appealing?
What was it? Dante put his like beats on and then kicked a dragon to death or something.
Beats by Dante.
Yeah, I mean, I guess. I guess I got time for that.
But yeah, I'm so worried this is going to kill some projects.
They'll be fine. They'll make a bunch of licensed games again. Like, what's big at the moment? Witcher. They'll do a Witcher beat 'em up. And they'll be fine.
For sure.
Yeah, don't worry. Yeah, they'll be fine. Don't worry about it.
Okay. Well, if you guys say so, I'll believe you.
Look, I know a guy. I know Mr. Platinum. Okay,
Mr. Platinum.
He shows me everything's fine.
He's 12 foot tall and made out of pure platinum.
They'll be like, okay, to compensate, we're making Bayonetta's boobs just slightly bigger, so we can sell more copies.
I keep trying to get him for an interview, but he keeps air juggling me. And then...
Oh god, he's doing stingers. Right, so Babylon's Fall, rest in peace.
Yeah, that's good. We covered that.
Don't tell me it's not already dead, because I don't believe you.
But I will say, this is a game, if it comes out in Game Pass, I'll 100% play it.
Absolutely.
If it truly is bad.
Should we pledge right here? Because it's 4-player co-op, right? That's what I'm led to believe from that one screenshot that keeps popping up. If it comes to Game Pass, let's do a co-op. All four of us.
We'll do a proper co-op let's play. Yeah. And there will be at least 30 minutes of edited content.
So we'll play it for 8 hours and we'll get about 4 minutes of like good stuff out of it.
Perfect. Right, next news story. Oh, this is quite a cool one. I'm looking forward to this. So, Resident Evil 2, 3, and 7 are getting visual enhancements, basically, on next-gen consoles. And
nice.
PC.
2 of those are really good.
Which ones are you talking about? Because we could have a fight here.
I think it's 2 and 7, right?
I wasn't big on
Resident Evil 3 remake wasn't bad. It was just disappointing.
That's a box quote.
It was just disappointing after 2 was so good. 2 remake.
How big are the visual improvements?
Let's have a look. So you've got.
What are you hoping got bigger?
Yeah.
There's no Resident Evil 8 here, Steve.
No, I haven't seen or played really much of 2, 3, or 7. I've only played Resident Evil 8. So I'm like, is it like massively improved, or is it just like?
Well, 2 looked. Well, I don't know. I haven't played much of 3, but 2 and 3 looked fantastic. So did Set. They all look great.
Oh, this is the weird point now where, because it's only one gen behind, right?
Yeah.
And you're bringing it to this gen. You look at these screenshots, and in my mind, that's how the game looked anyway.
Yeah, I'm like, that's how it looked. Because I remember, lugging my PlayStation over to Erin's to play Resident Evil 2 with her, and we were both like, there's that opening cutscene where the dude's eating a burger, and I was like, that's the most impressive looking video game burger I've ever seen. That's insane.
I still stand by that. Capcom and is it the RE engine that they make all the games on now?
I think it's just called the RE engine now.
They have the best faces in the biz by quite a big stretch, in my opinion.
I mean, I can't think of not Rockstar with the mocap.
Rockstar's
LA Noire.
Horizon Forbidden West's faces.
I've also heard that's very good. Yeah,
Horizon's
actually
up
incredible.
There, but there's just something about. I think specifically it was Devil May Cry 5. Just the faces and the mocap on the faces. I don't even know if it is mocap. It might just be hand animated.
It is like It is a bit of a start. It is like anime boys, though, isn't it? It's not
kind of, but at the same time, there are actors and actresses for these games.
Yeah.
That look like these people. They have I think it's like facial reference.
They are very good. I remember a lot of the stuff in RE8 was very impressive. The face stuff.
So
good face stuff.
Good face stuff.
We're just coming up with the box quotes today, aren't
we? So which ones have you lot played?
2 and 7.
None of them.
2 and 7.
I watched a lot of
some of 3.
None. I've watched all of them.
I think if you can get a copy of, you can probably get a copy of Resident Evil 2 Remake now quite cheap on Steam or like on PC. That is.
But I want to play it on PS5 with the updated graphics.
Oh no! So part of this story as well. It's not written here, or it's just slightly down here. If I scroll down, the upgrades are coming to PC for free as well. So.
Oh okay.
Oh nice.
So any copy you have just becomes the next gen version. Highly recommend Resident Evil 2. I still think it's one of the greatest survival horror games in a long time. It's a brilliant game.
It's a very good game.
I mean, I'm still playing Elden Ring. That's a survival horror, right?
That's the thing. That's the
game.
You know, it's literally whatever you want it to be, Steve.
Yeah, I play it. I play Elden Ring with a greatsword because I just like to pretend it's a Berserk game.
Yeah, I play it with a Ring Fit controller
to try and get fit and lose weight.
Question mark. Yeah. Get out the guitar.
Got stuck on a boss for 4 hours earlier. Can't feel my arms.
Just start squatting in front of Margit. What's he gonna do? Then kick him in the dick when he's confused. This also makes me think. I keep bringing it up, but why would you suddenly enhance these games? RE4 remake coming soon.
Oh my god! Yeah, obviously. Come on, this is like the wildest prediction.
It's happening. It's happening. I'm really excited.
It's obviously happening.
Not everyone knows that though.
I don't know that, but I don't care.
Wait, they're gonna do 2 and 3. They're gonna do 2 and 3, the REs that no one cared about, and then stop at 4, the one that everybody loves.
Oh no, but I know it's obviously coming, but maybe sooner. You know, at least the information might be coming sooner than.
Yeah, I think they might be taking their time because like 3 got a lot of backlash, right? Because it was like, wow, it was like a year later, maybe not even.
No, everyone was like,
wow, really?
It was 1 year later, almost to the date.
Yeah.
And then people played it, and it skipped entire
maybe
ports
take
of the
another
game.
couple years. Yeah,
there's a part
another couple years with the next one.
You go in a clock tower and stuff in Resident Evil 3, and then in the remake, it's just gone. We're just gonna pretend that's not a part of the game.
It's a bold strategy. Yeah, just delete that.
So a weird remake that removes parts of the game it's remake. Yeah, it's odd.
My clock tower's been removed. No.
What else have we got here? There's a couple more. You brought this up, Steve, so you're going to talk about it.
Yeah. Oh, I was going to say the BAFTA nominees for games have been released. and it's mostly just games from last year. Like nothing stands out. Like there's no.
Oh, should we do bets? Should we do predictions?
Okay, yeah, this will be good.
Where's the Google Doc? Yeah, hold on. Where's the Google Doc?
So
right,
first category is animation. You're looking at Call of Duty Vanguard, It Takes Two, Kenna Bridge of Spirits, Life is Strange: True Colors, Psychonauts 2, and Ratchet and Clank.
I really want to play Kenna. I haven't. It was one of the games that I wanted to play, but I just never got around to playing it. I'm gonna say It Takes Two, but I'm like, I want to play Kenna. So I don't know what it's like though.
I'd probably go with Life is Strange for this.
I think it's gonna be Kenna. The fact that it's like the Baftas, and it's a bit like, I guess, kind of surface. I don't know.
I'm also gonna go Kenna just because it swept at the actual Game Awards.
Yeah. I think by the way, the BAFTAs is April 4th or April 10th. One of those two. This is when the awards will be.
Okay. But I've locked you in now, Steve.
Okay.
Oh, you typing this up, yeah?
I'm writing this right now.
Okay. Artistic achievement, which recognises significant styles. The Artful Escape, It Takes Two, Psychonauts 2, Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart, Resident Evil Village, Returnal.
Resident Evil Village, because Lady D was an art masterpiece.
She is an art.
This one, I think, it
is art, yeah. Artistic achievement.
Yeah.
I think Ratchet and Clank.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's like style, right?
Ratchet. What'd you say, Sam?
It Takes Two.
It Takes Two. Ooh. See, I was gonna go with Psychonauts, but no, I'll keep it interesting. I'll go Psychonauts.
Okay. Right, next one. Audio achievement for good soundtracks and outstanding examples of game audio. Artful Escape, Call of Duty Vanguard, Deathloop, Halo Infinite, Guardians of the Galaxy, Returnal. Straight away, I think it'll be Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yeah, but that's if you. It depends on if people actually listen to the main soundtrack or if they were streaming it and they had to.
I think
use the off-brand.
The context of using licensed songs works really well in that game, apparently.
Why is Vanguard on all of these? I thought that was like the mildest Call of Duty that they've ever released.
No, it had Pippin from Lord of the Rings was a Nazi.
I'll go with Deathloop. I really enjoyed the music of Deathloop when I played it.
Yes, it's between Deathloop and Guardians of the Galaxy, probably.
Well, I got to push you. What'd you say, Steve?
Deathloop.
Deathloop.
I don't even know what Returnal is, so...
It's the
PS5
roguelike game that Josh played, yeah.
It's the woman who looks like Brienne of Tarth.
Yes.
In a spacesuit.
I'm going to go Deathloop. I'm going to stick with Deathloop.
What about you, Will?
It's got to be Halo. I think.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean they did more of that, but it's still really good, and I can see them. You know, it's the Academy, right? They're going to recognize that they used an orchestra. That's a classic.
Yeah. That's why I said earlier about like a surface choice, because it's like, you know.
Yeah.
The Academy.
It's not about what you think. It's about what normal people think.
Game of the year.
Those normies.
Game of the year. Deathloop, Horizon, Inscription. It Takes. Oh, calm down, Steve. It Takes Two. Ratchet and Clank. Returnal.
It Takes Two.
It Takes. Yeah.
Now, I don't think it's going to win it, but I have to go with Inscription.
Yeah.
Because
Inscription's got a shout out to BAFTAs, blimey.
There's fucking tons of these. Okay.
Oh, what the hell? All right, we'll call it.
We'll call it a game of the year.
Yeah.
Already bored.
What is this? Wait, what else have we got in here? Family games?
Can we do the evolving game category though, please?
No,
Wait,
we can't. No.
Sam, what'd you say, Sam?
It's got to be Inscription. That game had to make a mod for its own game so people could play it.
I saw that.
As they wanted to.
I really want to try that out. What'd you say, Josh?
That good.
It Takes Two.
I think I'm all. That's boring. Yeah, no, I'm also.
All right, fuck you.
No, I guess that was to myself.
Okay, can we do the evolving game?
All right, last one.
The only one with different games.
Where is it? Okay, this one. Okay, evolving game category. Among Us, Animal Crossing, Apex, Disco Elysium, Fortnite, and No Man's Sky.
They've become more special since their release.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go for Apex Legends.
No way.
No, that's the only one that stands out. Well,
Yes.
No Man's Sky,
No
maybe.
Man's Sky.
Yeah.
I mean, Disco Elysium is a great game, but has it gotten better since its release?
It got a final cut. That's kind of it, right?
Yeah, what? That makes no sense. What?
This is what Steve.
Stupid.
This is what
It's
Steve,
obviously,
Steve
if we're
wanted it.
talking about like games that have become more than they were, it's got to be Fortnite, because Fortnite was a stupid mod, and it's turned into the biggest media franchise in history. Don't quote me on that, and don't look up any stats. I'm pretty sure I'm correct.
He just loves Fortnite
He's
so
not
much.
wrong though.
Yeah, regardless of
Fortnite
your
on
personal
release
feelings on
to
Fortnite, it is
Fortnite now.
fucking massive.
Yeah.
I saw the other day that they're doing another crossover where Tom Holland is getting another skin in the game. Like he had a Spider-Man skin, now he's getting a Nathan Drake skin.
I heard that because they did all the Spider-Man stuff. The Bully Maguire dance from the third Spider-Man movie where he's like being a dick is in the game as an emote.
In the game.
That's pretty.
I mean,
cool.
why not? Why wouldn't it be? You know. What do you say for this? Sam?
Why wouldn't it be? Because it's fucking weird when you think about it.
It has to be Fortnite. It just has to be. If we're talking
Locking
about
you in, Josh.
release to now.
I'll say Apex.
Would you said Apex, right, Steve?
Yeah, I said Apex as well.
Like I don't know if Fortnite will actually win, but I don't see how. Like No
Fortnite
Man's Sky
dropped
got
off.
a bit less shit. Like Disco Elysium did a DLC, director's cut. Apex is doing battle passes. I mean, no, that's not fair. Apex has done a lot, but Animal Crossing was, yeah.
I see people talk about Apex, Fortnite. The only time I saw people talk about it was when they had like Naruto characters, which was impressive.
Though, like, Apex like stabilized, right? But
Yeah.
it didn't really add anything, if you know what I mean.
They've made a lot more Apex.
There's lots of maps and stuff.
Yeah.
Like, honestly,
added
my
an arena
second
mode?
after Fortnite is probably Among Us.
No, Among Us is a
That's
story
not
about.
had enough updates.
Yeah.
The only thing the angle you can go there though is it released as a little indie game that nobody cared about, and it's also gone on to become a massive.
I mean, everyone knows Among Us now.
franchise.
Genre-defining game.
Yeah, and it's like, you know, yes, they haven't added a lot, but from like it went from a game that had been just sat on Steam for years that no one cared about, and then it just basically over the course of a week became the biggest thing of games for like a whole year. Yeah.
True.
But it's weird to say it like that because this category itself is just weird.
Thanks, Steve.
Yeah. Thanks, Steve. Wait, what's in the running for family games? Because I'm looking at a wildlife adventure.
I'm
Look, you see
cutting
that?
this off right now. No, we're done here. This is over.
Oh.
Get rid of this stupid page. All right, I think that's us done. That's all the news stories.
There's a couple games coming out in this next week that I'm excited about.
What's that?
Well, first of all, we have Have a Nice Death, on March 8th.
Have a Nice Death.
Which is a roguelike action game.
Have a Nice
I've seen
Death.
the trailer. The trailer for it looked really good. That one's coming out.
My internet is terrible tonight. I can't even load a picture. Rip.
Yeah.
This looks really good.
There is the Core Keeper, which was the game Sam talked about last week. With the Stardew Valley in a mine.
What was it called? Sorry, the Core Keeper.
Sorry, Core Keeper.
The Cool Keeper.
The Core Keeper, just Core Keeper.
There's no the, but
yeah, that's it. And then
COOL.
no, you had it right the first time.
Oh my god.
For anyone listening, we have found pictures of dogs.
Oh my god.
And the last one is Chocobo Grand Prix on March 10th, which is Switch exclusive. If you like the Chocobo racing, this seems like it's going to be more of the same, but like it seems like it could actually be good, but we also have Mario Kart 8 DLC coming out later this month.
When you cut this later, Josh, into an edit where it's like Steve's announcing games and none of us care because you're just looking at pictures of puppies, you're going to need some kind of visual aid on this. When this becomes a short, I want to see some of these dogs up on screen.
Okay, yeah.
These were the 3 games that I was like, had my eye on. So it's Have a Nice Death,
Core Keeper is worth keeping an eye on, but Core Keeper is the kind of like Terraria multiplayer thing I'd like to do where there's just like fucking 8 of us running around being batshit crazy.
Shall I request a key for it? I'm going to do that.
Oh my god, you and those requesting of keys.
Have you got Sifu yet?
No. No, they won't give me seafood.
They won't give you Sifu.
Or the Destiny expansion. I'm quite miffed about that. I'll shill for Destiny. I'll come back.
Is anyone that listens to you going to buy it because you shill it?
No, absolutely not.
There you go.
I did.
I think people would for Will. People are big fans of Will.
Oh, thanks, Steve.
If he recommends it, I reckon people would.
I will say I got gifted a key. The developers sent me a key for Far Changing Tides, which I had my eye on for a little bit. It's kind of awkward because part of the deal is like, because part of the deal is like, we'll provide you a key, and then they track if you cover it in some form or another, and usually that means like I'll stream it for a bit or I'll make a video about it or something. And then I requested it. Like not expecting to get a response because I'd never get responses to requesting. Like it's not glamorous at all. No one ever emails me back when I request a key for something. But these guys did, and then the next day it got announced it was going straight to Game Pass. So and now I have this obligation to make.
I don't want it anymore.
Which it's like such a first world problem. But no, I'm gonna play some Far Changing Tides. It looks great. I'm excited, and I didn't even get paid to say that.
Hashtag ad.
Yeah, we're a variety stream now.
Yeah.
I hope no one was really into Hunt at the moment.
Yeah.
No, okay. Should we?
Elden Ring tomorrow. I'm excited.
Oh yeah, that'll be. If you're listening to this, you're too late. Sucks to be you listening.
Yeah, I didn't even know why I mentioned that.
Well, it's one of those things where if it goes good stream, then maybe there'll be more.
I'd like to do the whole angle of what I'm going to try and do tomorrow is like open the floodgates to multiplayer and just play it like, can I get carried through the entirety of Elden Ring? Like barely even trying, just watching other people kill all the bosses for me. I'm very excited.
That'll be fun. I'll tune into some of that. That sounds pretty good.
It's a shame though you can't have
thanks, Josh.
Yeah, there you go, an extra viewer.
To have, like...
Yes, you and 4 other people. Yes.
8 people just like nuking a boss for you. That would be fun, but.
I don't even know like the limits or anything.
I assume it's 2 summons like other games.
Yeah. I don't know. Excited.
That'll be good. Okay. Let's wrap this up, shall we? Shall we call this an evening? Thank you for listening, everybody. If you've made it this far, I hope you all had a lovely time. Let's get everyone's socials out of the way. My name's BottlerWorks on everything relevant, just Twitch and Twitter mainly. You can actually shill yourself this time, Will, because you're back this time. Sam can't do it for you.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, I caught that last time, Sam. Thank you so much for shilling for my channel, even though I wasn't even here. Yeah, that was a very cool move. I'm Olive_Meister or Olivemeister or Olivemeister YouTube or Olivemeister with 2 R's because someone took regular Olivemeister. You can find me Twitch streaming or on YouTube or on Twitter. I'm giving away a copy of Elden Ring tomorrow, and you can't have it because by the time this comes out, I will have already given it away.
Sucks to be you.
Sucks to be you. Yeah, you, the listener.
Thanks for listening, though.
Please subscribe.
Please subscribe. You won't get a key of Elden Ring from me, though. Go for it, Steve.
I'm Quikwix. That's Quikwix on Twitch and Twitter mainly. I'm going to be streaming a lot of Hunt in the mornings on the weekdays now. And I'm giving away nothing, because fuck you.
Wow.
We're getting really hostile.
Getting really hostile.
Let's make sure nobody comes back. And Sam's just going to spit in your face in a minute.
Yeah, Sam, in the nicest way, please do your outro.
I'm Sam.
That'll do. Goodbye, everybody.
See ya.